Mr. DJ Rose, Verteezy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.
No More Black Tears Radio, No More Black Tears podcast, man. We back for another week. We turning it up on another Tuesday. We got Caesar C's, Verteezy. Man, how y'all boys been living, man? How was y'all weekend, man? What about you, Verteezy?
Yeah, man. Nah, it was a great weekend, man. We got to see the fight, man. Got to see plenty of college football. Got to see NFL, man. You know, so it all happened in the week, fellas.
It sure did.
This weekend sports. So let's start off, you know, where we were Saturday night, which was watching the Canelo and Crawford fight on Netflix. This was one of the biggest fights of the last 25 years. I'm not gonna lie, me personally, it was one of the best fights I've seen in a long, long time because, you know, after the second round, Canelo started trying to fight back. And he just realized he couldn't do nothing, but it's not like the Floyd Pacquiao fight where Pacquiao ran the whole fight. And Crawford had dealt a lot of good damage. I was not surprised that the fight went the way it went. I felt like, and I said on the last episode, that if it went 12 rounds, Crawford would win by decision and it would have been close. And when you watch the fight, it did not look close. Like at the most generous you can do for Canelo is give him 3 rounds. I feel like that's the most generous you can be with it because Crawford, from start to finish, dominated the fight. The times where Canelo basically, did establish himself, Crawford came back the very next round and reasserted himself, kept cutting Canelo off, not letting him really get in the groove and the rhythm. Canelo never really landed any big punches. In fact, some of the biggest punches of the fight was actually landed by Crawford, which probably shocked certain people. Because, we heard how much power Canelo had. And I know me and Rose was talking right before we, aired was, we kept hearing how much bigger Canelo was. But once they got in the ring, man, Canelo didn't look that much bigger than Crawford, to be honest, man. And, I've always felt like this about boxing from watching Roy Jones. Roy Jones was one of my favorite boxers growing up. And then Floyd became my favorite boxer once Roy kind of retired. Boxing has been and will always be about not getting hit. That's what boxing will always be about. Like, yeah, it's exciting to see the knockout blow. Just like in all the sports, it's exciting to see a 50-yard touchdown. It's exciting to see a deep 3 ball. It's exciting to see a home run. But that's not what leads to greatness and what champions are about. Like, yeah, so it's great to see Mike Tyson knock someone out. It's great to see Deontay Wilder do his thing. But you look at the best boxers historically, they are boxers that play great. They are great at defense. They can't get touched. They can move their feet. They can move their head and shoulders. Can avoid getting hit, and they can also hit their opponent. And that's what Crawford did throughout the night, man. It was just so many times where Canelo could not really get nothing going because it just after about the 3rd round, you just kind of knew unless Canelo gets lucky, he's not gonna be able to win this fight because he can't touch Crawford.
Yeah, it was a beautiful science. I think that's what they call it, man. But because from the first round, when they started off and Canelo didn't push up on him, I said, boy, if he better not do this first round. Everybody told me, oh, he trying to fill him out. He ain't got no time to fill this guy out. He better get on there and try to do something. And first round went by, second round went by. 3rd round went by. I only had Canelo winning 1 round, but Verteezy said he saw him win 2, but I only had him winning 1 because I don't remember him even touching Crawford. I remember he had a couple nice punches, maybe some jabs or something like that. But man, that was such a beautiful thing to watch, and especially because I know me and Vertizi, after we watched the documentary, not with a documentary, but the pre-fight documentary, whatever.
Yeah, the build up.
Yeah, so and we was watching that, and I was like, "You saw this?" And he was like, "No, I didn't see this." And I was like, "Yeah, this is what I was telling y'all like last week about how the doggone it's like the doggone the dope boy going against the doggone cartel." And I was like, "Have you ever seen the cartel win?" And y'all remember me saying that, right?
Yeah.
And Vertiza said, "So Crawford gonna lose?" I said, "No, they gonna win tonight. They gonna win Saturday night."
Yeah, the dope boy beat the cartel, man.
The illest dude in Nebraska, man. He did his thing, man. I was so proud of him, man. I was so happy for him. It was a beautiful thing to watch. It was a beautiful thing. And then like some boxers they win, they show out, they be disrespectful. He was really both the fighters was really respectful to each other, and they showed each other love, and it was just such a beautiful thing. It was such a beautiful thing, man.
Yeah, man. Like, I first really saw Crawford fight like around 2015, 2016, man. And my biggest takeaway, man, from the night was I was so happy for Crawford winning the fight the way he did it, because his first real big fight with Errol Spence, he dominated. Then he fought Canelo and dominated. And Crawford kept saying it, after the fight and all his post-game showings, that basically everybody kept saying that I beat nobody, and I'm going to show you that, nobody can beat somebody, man. So I feel like what's frustrating for some people who don't really keep up with Crawford is they don't understand that he's so good that he's made a lot of fighters in this generation look very average. Because I remember when we watched the Errol Spence fight, I was telling Rose about how good Errol Spence was. And if that's the first time you ever saw Errol Spence fight, you would think he was a bum, And if you never saw Canelo fight before, you would thought that Canelo probably was a bum. And that just shows you how good Crawford is, that he makes a lot of great fighters, a lot of very good fighters, look bad.
Undisputed four conferences?
Yeah, 4 division champ.
4 divisions in different weight classes. So literally he's probably the best fighter right now, the best boxer right now. Canelo literally was outboxed. He lost at his own game. He maybe had 1 or 2 good hits that I was like, okay, that might be a problem later on. But it didn't happen. It did not happen. So like he played him out. He played him outside the ropes, and it was maybe one time where Canelo had him close to the corner in the ropes, and I was like, that might be a problem. But what's he do? He just focusing him on the center. He's outboxing him, and I think a lot of people misrepresented or misunderstood what Crawford, not just speed, but he can actually hit too. It's like he has power behind his hits, is what I'm trying to say. So it was not one sided where it's literally like a Mayweather where he's, tagging, he's just got targeted hits. It's like, no, Crawford is actually hitting this man and dodging his hits. So it's like, it was a good fight, man. It's basically shut up the naysayers. And I want to say it was either before the fight, one of the undercards wives or girlfriend or family member was literally arguing with Crawford, saying all types of crazy shit. You just see him smile, bitch, 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 and he was justified because she was the one who came up to him talking shit. So, hey man, good night. Congratulations, champ.
Yeah, man, there was a lot of people at the fight, man. There was even some NFL stars at the fight. There wasn't no college stars at the fight because a lot of college football players was playing that, playing early in the day, and some even played that night, man. Was there any games this week that told you something about the college football season?
Yeah, man. All of them told me something. Like, other than Ohio State, anybody can win this year. Anybody can win.
You make that tournament is over?
Yeah. If you can make the tournament, then you got a chance because
it's not that big 3.
It's not. Nobody's proven themselves. I was thinking that Georgia was going to come up and do something. I watched the Tennessee game from the second quarter. I watched the third quarter, missed some of the fourth quarter, caught the end of the fourth quarter, and turned it off right before Tennessee kicked the field goal, and was mad for the rest of the night until I ran into my homeboys before the fight and talking to Vertiz. I said, "Man, you saw Tennessee win with that field goal." He said, "What do you mean they ain't win no field goal? Georgia won with a touchdown." I said, "He missed the field goal?" He said, "Yeah." I was like, "Man," I turned it off because I couldn't take it.
As soon as I told you that, you went straight to try to confirm.
Yeah. I was just happy when you told me that. I ain't going to straight confirm. I was happy. I said, "Oh, that made my night. That made my night." And then when Crawford won,
it was over, man. It was complete elation.
All my teams won. My fighter won. It's like, what else can I ask for? You know what I'm saying? It was a wonderful Saturday night, but that's the only thing I got to say about it because it's wide open. I think Ohio State is probably the front runners, but it's wide open. It's wide open.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Probably a team that is close to trying to enter into that big two conversation might be Miami. They disposed of UCF easily, but UCF is a lesser opponent. They was undefeated early in this season, just I think 2-0. So we really didn't know too much about them. We'll know more about that when the season goes on for UCF, to be honest. But Beck continues to look good. As a Georgia fan, we didn't get this Beck last year. Had we would have won the national championship easily. So if he continues to play like this with all that talent on Miami, man, Miami can probably be, one of those contenders. Also, sticking with the home teams, Georgia Tech is looking so good early in this season, man. They had that win against Colorado. They come off that win against Clemson. The quarterback, Haynes, he's a mobile for phenom. Had 100 yards rushing this week against Clemson. That Georgia Tech win had Clemson so fucked up. Dabo in the press conference saying, when we won 8 out of 9 of the conferences, we made the playoffs 7 out of 10 times. Like, got 2 national championships. Like, this nigga Dabo had to spend his whole resume to these motherfuckers. I'm surprised he didn't say, we had Deshaun Watson get drafted in the first round. Like, talking about, if they don't want to win no more, I'll go somewhere else. Like, Dabo, you ain't got to prove yourself. We know you're one of the best coaches. What you got to do is you got to suck your pride up and understand that you got to pay the players, bro.
But this
you
year,
got to pay the players.
He paid them this year. He hit the portal.
Oh, he hit the portal and paid them?
Yeah, he hit the portal.
You got to pay them more than you got to give them some Hellcats, bro. You got to give them some Hellcats, dog. But Georgia Tech looks really good. And to be honest, I'm not surprised because the Georgia Tech has great alums from them. So they should be a team in the South. They're not in the SEC, but in the South, they should be a team that can pay these players. To be honest, they could probably have better players if they were to decide to really do that. The ACC,
you got to be smart enough to get into school, though.
That too. That's what makes it hard for these schools like Notre Dame, Stanford, and these schools that have these academic standards. But the ACC looks really good so far in this season, man. It looks better than it has in probably a decade, to be honest, man. Because a lot of the schools are really competing. Miami, Clemson, Syracuse. You got Georgia Tech. Like, yeah, the ACC is no joke. They might actually have 2 teams that make the playoffs, to be honest. And if they do, they'll probably be well deserved.
Man, number 2, man, Penn State. A good win for them, but it's Villanova, man. Something off. FCS opponent. The reason why I bring up number 2 is they should be concerned about number 3. So I had a discussion about LSU, which obviously we knew Florida's going down. Florida is not able to compete this year. LSU being in that number 3 slot, I really think they got a chance, and they're good this year. But as we always say, the SEC is stacked. Oklahoma, whoever plays Oklahoma, it's not Texas you should worry about. It's not Texas Tech. It's Oklahoma. These newcomers in the conference, they might be a problem later on the season. They're 3-0 coming up. So, I mean, it was some good games, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, as far as this week, man, 2 games I'm looking at, because of the fact of once everything starts looking as close as it is, to what Rose was saying about there's no big three or big four. Because last year, if I remember correctly, there was a big consensus four all year long of who had a chance to win a natty. It's not like that this year. So you just got to make that tournament. And I'm looking at USC and Michigan State, the number 16, number 17 team in the country. Whoever wins this game is one step closer to trying to make the playoffs, and that's going to be good for them. USC quarterback has been looking pretty good this year. We'll see what they do. I didn't even know Michigan State was undefeated until I was looking at the games this week, and I'm like, yo, Michigan State's actually undefeated. I can't remember the last time they've had a good college football season. So it'll be interesting to see what they do against USC, and then Lincoln Riley at USC. Man, it's just time, dog. It's time. We compliment you all the time on your offensive ability in terms of your mind. It's just time for you to actually win these games, make the playoffs, and compete, man. The same thing how it was for Jim Harbaugh a couple years ago. He went to Michigan. He changed the culture there, and it just got to the point like, can you win these big games? You got to start showing that you can win these big games because you get these quarterbacks that put up these numbers, but you've had Caleb Williams, you had a whole bunch of other guys, and you just haven't really won at the level that we expect you to. And then the last game, Texas Tech and Utah, they're both ranked in the teens too. And it's going to be interesting to see, once again, two teams that's kind of in the middle, like who can make the tournament again and potentially give themselves a chance. And we saw what happened last year with Notre Dame and Ohio State. Notre Dame and Ohio State. A lot of people didn't have high expectations for them in the playoffs, but they both made the playoffs last year, and they both had that magical run. In fact, the way the seeding was, a lot of people was mad that they was actually seeded too low, and then some teams had to face them earlier than they should have. So, like, it could be the same way for some of these teams that's, like, in the teams right now. You win your games. You get, like, you might get a home playoff game if you win your conference, or you might just be in the rank number 8 or 9, and we'll see what you do in the playoffs.
Yeah, a good game coming on NBC Saturday night. Illinois and Indiana. Illinois is ranked number 9, and Indiana is ranked number 19. That should be a good game. Big 10 or Big 12. I can never recognize which ones them you know what I'm saying?
It's like, is it the Midwest or Southwest?
Yeah, so it's Big 10, Big 12, one of them conferences. But that's gonna be a good game. But one thing I'm really, really surprised at. I remember there was a lot of hype about it. Notre Dame, a lot of hype. But they're 0-2.
Fall from grace.
But guess where they ranked at?
Well, they still ranked in the top
Number
25?
24.
Yep.
I ain't surprised.
You should be, because ain't no way you should be still in the top 10, top 25, and you 0-2.
But the first loss.
I don't care who you lost to.
Yeah,
I don't care who you lost to. You lost to you 0-2. There's 100 teams in the country that have proven that Nebraska's 3-0. They're not in the top 25.
And I made a mistake. Michigan State isn't ranked. USC is ranked 25.
Michigan State's 3-0. They not in the top 25. You know what I'm saying? USC is 3-0. They number 25.
Yeah, they right behind Notre Dame. So that's a good point, Rose.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, man. Y'all got to do better than this. Y'all got to do way better than this. Ole Miss, number 13, they 3-0. Tulane, they 3-0. You know what I'm saying? Auburn's number 22. They 3-0. You know what I'm saying? But come on now, man. I just got a problem with that. You can always make it back in. You can always make it back in.
But you should fall out and have to earn your way back in.
Yes.
Piggybacking off of that, you're talking about Auburn being 3-0. Guess who else is 3-0 at number 11? Oklahoma. So I think, like I said, Oklahoma's going to literally be a problem team for a lot of these teams. Auburn probably going to fall out depending on who else. Speaking of, Purdue is unranked, but they're actually considered an underdog for this game, and the upset is there. So if you're looking for a bet, probably put your money on Purdue. Oklahoma, back to the Auburn. I think Oklahoma's a stronger team. I think they're going to probably raise up after this one. And then I'm gonna be ranking on Florida all season. So y'all ain't going to hear the end of that shit. Y'all. Miami's number 4, so it's literally going to be them top 7. I'll say top 7 You're gonna constantly see ups and downs. You know how they usually do. They usually keep the top 5, but I think they're gonna do some shit to make somebody mad and change it. They could be like, oh, this team should have been there. That team should have been there. But it's definitely going. It's a couple good games. I'm not really feeling like them big ticket games are there, but there's definitely entertainment coming on. And I really think that USC and that USC matchup should be a good game, man.
Yeah. Moving on to the NFL, man. So for Thursday Night Football, this past week, we had the Packers versus Commanders. Very highly anticipated game. 2 young quarterbacks, Jordan Love versus Jaden Daniels. It didn't live up to my expectations of the game because the Commanders' offense really could never get going. Jaden Daniels, he hasn't looked terrible this season, but he just hasn't looked as spectacular as he did his rookie season, which we kind of saw that from C.J. Stroud last year. But Jordan Love has looked great, so far early in this season, man. And, the Packers are looking like a Super Bowl team. Like that defense with Michael Parsons and the rest of the players they have, they stifle the Commanders' offense. That is a very good quarterback with some good receivers from Terry McLaurin to Debo Samuels. And the fact that they held that offense the way they held it, the fact that, you saw Jordan Love spreading the ball, and we still haven't seen a receiver from the Packers emerge as the number one guy. We did see glimpses of Matthew Golden get open deep. He just didn't make the plays that we expect someone of his talent to make. But if he can start making those plays as the season goes on, the Packers will go from being scary to terrifying, because I'm telling you, they're just one big play receiver away to possibly being like their favorite in the NFC in terms of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was a good game Thursday night. Jaden Daniels got hurt, unfortunately. But you know what I'm saying? I'll talk about it a little bit later with the rest of the Sunday night games. But it was a great game to watch. That's all I can say. It was a great game to watch. Parsons got him another sack or a half a sack. It was a good game. Jordan Love did his thing. It was a lot of he could have did better, but some of his receivers dropped the ball. He also threw some picks that should have been picked, but the defenders dropped the ball. So, but he got to get that under control. And you know what I'm saying? Jacobs did his thing. He scored another touchdown that I think his 9th or 10th in a row. So he did his thing. It's like they just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Keep going. We want to see what y'all got going on the rest of this season.
Yeah, man. As far as the Thursday night game, this week we got Bills Dolphins. I don't really think there's too much to say about this game. Like the Bills are looking like the best team in the AFC East. They're looking like a contender like they was last year, and the Dolphins looking like they're gonna be worse than they was last year, which may be hard to believe because Tua's actually healthy right now. Tua's playing, but Tua's playing like trash. Dolphins got to win this game if they want a chance to make the playoffs, man, and possibly even compete in the division. They got to find a way to beat the Bills. And for some reason, since Tua's been in that division, since Josh Allen's been in the division, for some reason, the Dolphins just, even when they've had the better team the last couple of years, they just, for some reason, could not fuck with the Bills, And you can put that on the fact of Josh Allen is just a way better quarterback than Tua. But at some point in time, if you got the horses behind you, you got to ride them horses, man. You still got Jalen Waddle. You still got Tyreek Hill. You still got Achane, the running back, who's having a great season so far, especially if you do fantasy. You made a trade for Michael Fitzpatrick. Where has he been at, on the defensive side of the ball? Mike McDaniels, people saying you're one of the best offensive coaches in the league. Like, at some point in time, y'all going to have to do something. I think the Bills are going to win this game. I think it's going to be embarrassing, but Dolphins, y'all got to do something now.
Yeah, if they want to show up in it, because they already 0-2, so they can't show up and go 0-3. And this is a short week, so obviously we watched the Baltimore game. Bills ain't got no defense, so if Tua's going to play if Tua plays well, they should win the game because they got the offensive weapons. But it's all on Tua. Tua playing like he's still in the concussion protocol.
Yeah.
So if you still in a concussion protocol, you need to go sit down.
But that nigga said, "Hey man, I ain't gonna throw the ball 80 yards. You got to stop."
So man, I don't know, man. I think it's time, man. I know he got paid, but man, it's time for him to lay down, man. It's done. He done. Man, he done.
Hey man, moving on to the games this weekend in NFL, man. Um, yeah, we had the Ravens Browns. The only thing about that game was Lamar just looked spectacular. Lamar is picking up where he left off last year as where he should have won MVP. He's looking like he's going to add another MVP to his mantle, long as they don't, jig him for the whiteboard. Like Lamar had 4 touchdowns, looked spectacular, did his thing against a team in Cleveland that has historically given Lamar and the Ravens trouble, in terms of their offense, and they didn't have no issue with the Browns in this game, man, which kind of surprised me. I thought they might struggle, so that was very good on their part. And man, my Falcons, man, about time y'all showed up the defense, man. Both the rookies, man, got sacks, man, and Sunday Night Football. Y'all look spectacular. I ain't gonna lie, we was about to press the panic button on you niggas, dog. Because me and Rose was like, yo, we spent a first round pick on both of you niggas and y'all ain't show up week 1. Like, where was y'all at? Like, Rose literally texted me, after week 1, where the first round picks at? Then when he woke up from his little nap and saw the game, saw the scores and everything, he texted me, I see the first rounder showed up. They did. y'all showed up to the party by damn time. When I saw James Pierce get that first sack in the game, I was like, let's go. Then when I saw Jalen Walker join the party, he said, hey, bro, I got drafted, too, nigga. And then he slammed goddamn J.D. McCarthy to the ground. I said, let's go. Then I'm seeing these other niggas. I don't know who these niggas is. Who is these niggas? They get into the quarterback. I'm like, y'all keep doing that shit then. And then I'm like, oh, hold on. We got Leonard Floyd on the team? And then they say, for the last 5 years, he's one of 3 players in the league that have 8 sacks every season. Nigga, we need that. Don't come to the Falcons and get that streak broken. Nigga, get your 8 sacks. If you can get more, cool. But if y'all play like that defensively, I've seen enough from Michael Penix, enough from Drake London. Darnell Mooney's back. Ray McLeod, he's a good little slot receiver. B. John Robinson looks like the best running back in the league to me. The way he's played these first 2 weeks. Plus, we had 100 yards, receiving. This week had 143, 153 yards rushing. Even though Tyler had just stole his touchdown. But that's cool, though. Man. You still did good, though, man. Like, the offense is looking like it's going to be doing its thing this year. And, oh, my God. This nigga we got kicking the ball, nigga was selling cards on Tuesday, got cards saying, yo, we need you to come kick some field goals, because my young hoe fucking up. And this nigga went 5 for 5. Nigga, young hoe, I'm surprised I ain't see breaking news that you been cut. Because, nigga, this nigga's doing what we need you to do. And, nigga, we would have had you week 1. We'd be 2-0 right now. Man, I'm ecstatic, man. And as far as Vikings fans go, y'all might have fucked up letting Sam Darnold go, dog. Y'all might have fucked up.
Yeah, so the games that just went past, of Christmas past, you know what I'm saying? 49ers and Saints. I've been saying, I remember when Brock Purdy got paid, and I said, he top 5 quarterback? I asked Verteezy. And he was like, no, I don't think so. But he getting paid like one.
True.
But Matt Jones came in there and played the same way he played.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones.
Who?
Mike Jones played the same way he played. Like, come on. So y'all just Shanahan. You make these guys look so good. But in the playoffs, you gonna do the same thing. Y'all gonna lay an egg. So I ain't worried about you, but
what you like to say? Until you do right by Atlanta.
Until you do right by us. Until you do right by us.
You and Dan Quinn would never have success.
Never. And Dan Quinn, he ain't really do wrong by us, but he should have vetoed some of the calls.
He should have been like, you want to throw the ball? Nah, we're going to hand the ball off to this running back we're paying our money to.
Yeah, we should have definitely handed the ball off. He should have vetoed some of that. Like, come on now. Hold on now. And it's like, Burrow, where you at, Joe?
Woo.
Where you at, Joe?
Woo.
I remember I said the Cincinnati ain't making the playoffs.
Hey, man, that looks like a great pick now.
Joe, where you at?
Let me ask a question, though. Speaking of that, this is like Jake Browner looked great in the game. A couple years ago when Joe got hurt, Jake Browner looked great.
Mm-hmm.
Are you surprised that he's still a backup? Like, I'm kind of surprised. Like, most of the time when a backup plays as well, some team decides to poach them. I'm surprised he's still backing up Burrow.
Yeah, but man, who is he?
I don't know who he is, but I know
That's why he's still backing
backing
up. That's why he's still backing up. That's why he's still a backup. You know what I'm saying? Jaden Daniels. He might be hurt. He might be out a game or two. JJ McCarthy, where you at?
That nigga hurt
Come on to the table. Come on to the table. Didn't you miss all last season? Didn't you miss all last season? Now you out 3 weeks? Come on now, man.
And he's a smaller quarterback. I'm not surprised he got hurt again. He's a smaller guy.
Aaron Jones, come to the table. You hurt too, out 3 weeks. Man,
to be honest, he shot me last season. I was surprised he didn't get hurt more last season because he's known for that.
That's what I'm saying. So now the Minnesota Vikings, they were talking about all this good stuff. They done. So I can't remember how I had the Lions coming out of that division. So yeah, man. So they done. Cleveland, they done. So I'm trying to figure out when they go start. I say they started. They ain't started, but Buddy got some play. Got some
Jackson
run.
Dart.
No, from
Dylan Gabriel.
Dylan Gabriel got some play.
I know Jackson Dart. They put Jackson Dart in the game, the Giants game.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel got some play.
What he do?
He went 3 for 3.
Okay then.
I guess it was at the end of the game. I ain't watched it, but yeah, he got some play.
That means he finna start soon.
So Cleveland, y'all come up to this table. Hey, what y'all gonna do? It's time to send Joe Flacco packing. It's time for him to sit it down in the rocking chair.
Yeah, man, it's about time for Joe to get one of these broadcasting jobs.
Yeah, man. So, man, that's all I got.
All old washed-up quarterbacks go.
Yeah, but we don't want to see him talk, man. He's so boring.
Yeah, man. And as far as this week, I know I'm gonna start off where I left off with the Ravens, man. Yo, we got the Ravens and Lions. The last time we saw the Ravens and Lions play, which I want to say was the year that Lamar won the MVP. Man, they embarrassed the Lions on national television, man. This is going to be a really good game because you got two teams that like to run the ball, two teams that like to be physical. Like, we're going to get to see Lamar go up against a pretty decent Detroit defense now that they got Adrian Hutchinson back. And if he can put up some great numbers, this is an opportunity for him to get the early lead in the MVP race. But as far as the Lions, man, y'all coming off a 52-point scoring output. Y'all gotta look respectable against the Ravens. To be honest, I need to try to win because I ain't gonna lie. The Packers are looking so much better than we thought they was. Y'all can't afford to be, because y'all both are 1-1. So y'all can't afford to be 1-2. You know, and the Packers, win this week and now become 3-0. Whereas the Ravens, they have a little wiggle room because now that Joe Burrow injury is here, the Ravens probably can win that division with only 9 or 10 wins because we don't think the Steelers is going to win 10 games. And now the Bengals is injured, where Joe Burrow's injured, we know they're not going to win 10 games, man. And then the other game, man, I feel like this probably should be game of the week, to be honest. I'm surprised this isn't like a Sunday night football game.
You better pick the Rams.
The Rams-Eagles, we're talking about the NFC playoff divisional rematch. That was the only game the Eagles actually had to play because they pretty much beat everyone up in the playoffs. The Rams are looking pretty good this year. They've added Devontae Adams, which he's been big on Devontae going there. And Devontae's looked pretty good the first 2 weeks of the season, man. I think he got a touchdown last week or 100 yards last week, but I know both times I picked him in prize picks, he went green for me 2 weeks in a row. So he's doing his thing. Puka Nacua is looking like a top 10 receiver. He's playing very well. Kyron Williams, week 1, did pretty well. He didn't really do as much week 2. But, they ain't really needed as much. And Stafford's looking pretty good. And that defense is kind of picking up where it left off last year. So we'll see what they got to do. The Eagles, they're undefeated. They're coming off a big win against the Chiefs. They didn't do much offensively, but that defense is starting to look like it did last year. We got to see what's going to happen with that passing game because this is the second week in a row we haven't seen A.J. Brown get really involved offensively. They're going to need A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to put up numbers if they're going to repeat again. So this, to me, is going to be a good test for both teams to see where they're at early in the season.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson, come on to the table. We got the Colts and the Titans coming up. Hey, man, Danny Dimes. He leading the league in MVP voting.
Whew, man, the Giants got to be sick.
Danny Dunn, come on to the table. Come on. Anthony Richardson, come on to the table. Come on, man. Man, them boys ain't punting 2 games. That's
crazy.
That's an NFL record. Them boys ain't punting in 2 games. And who they quarterback? Daniel Jones.
Can I ask a serious question? Do anybody feel like the Colts got a better offensive talent than the Giants had last year?
They got one stud. Giants had one stud. So
I feel like
a better line. They got a better line.
The line is better, but I feel like the receiving core for the Giants with Malik Neighbors, Wendell Robinson was good enough. Like, what's the difference, bro? Because, like you
Jonathan
said,
Taylor.
Daniel Jones is looking amazing. I ain't gonna lie. You picked him up in fantasy. I did question that pick. He's actually looking like he did a couple years ago when I think he was the best running back in fantasy. Jonathan Taylor has been a beast so far.
So I think because he
had like 160 yards this week or 150 yards
and 50 yards receiving.
And I was just about to add the receiving part of his game that wasn't really there early in his career. For some reason, he's picking that up.
So when Daniel Jones had a good season when Deron Bryan,
and Saquon was there.
Saquon had a great. That's when Saquon was healthy.
So he's probably one of those quarterbacks. It's better for him to have an elite running back than an elite receiver.
Yeah. So he's having one of those years. So also, I like that game you picked, but another game I'm looking for the Eagles Rams.
Oh yeah.
But I'm looking forward to seeing. We probably ain't gonna get this game, but the Broncos Chargers game.
Man, yeah.
I think that's gonna be a good game,
especially with the Chiefs being 0-2, man. Like I think what are the Broncos 1-1? The
2-1. 2-1. No, they're 1-1.
1-1, and the Chargers are 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0.
Like this is a chance. Like the Chargers win this game, they can get that. They can build that lead upon the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. And the Broncos been looking good. The Broncos should be 2-0, but they
Bo Nix threw a bad interception at the end of the game.
No, it was a penalty. The field goal kicker missed the field goal, but they got caught for leveraging.
Oh yeah, that did happen too.
And then they got 15 yards, and that's how they kicked the field goal. Yeah. So if that leverage call wouldn't have happened, then they probably would have won. But I think it was the rookie. They got a rookie kicker, and it was like a 60+ yard field goal.
Oh yeah, he probably would have missed that.
Yeah, so he did miss it, but they got called back, and they got 15 yards. He made the second one. It was only like 2 seconds left on the game too. So they both could have been 2-0. So, but the 49ers and Cardinals, as far as record, it's gonna be a good game because both of them are 2-0. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what them boys do. But another game that I just want to see the stats afterwards. The battle of the backups. We got Cincinnati Bengals against the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo! That game is gonna be so depressing for fantasy owners because there are players on the team that you are still starting, like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, T.J. Hockenson, and Chase Brown, but you just hoping and praying that you get decent quarterback play.
Mm-hmm. So, battle of the backups. I don't want to see that game. I just want to see the stats afterwards.
Quick question, Rose, before we let C say his final thoughts. If you are a Justin Jefferson fantasy owner or a Jamar Chase fantasy owner, are you trying to trade them right now if their starting quarterback is done for the year? Or do you just ride with them? And most likely you pick them top 5. Like Jamar Chase went number 1 and Jefferson was going like top 5 in most drafts.
I would think about trading Jefferson, but I ain't trading Chase. Not even if you can get Malik Neighbors for Chase. Oh, now if I can get Malik Neighbors for him, then yeah.
What if I give you Drake London and let's just say J.K. Dobbins for Chase?
J.K. Dobbins sucks.
That's the best you're gonna get for niggas got a quarterback.
Yeah, man. I'm keeping Chase, man. But and the thing about, I don't think Jefferson's gonna have the numbers that he had last year. I think his fantasy year is done.
And I'll be honest, I'm more confident in Jefferson than Chase, only because I've seen Jefferson since he's been in the league do it with so many different quarterbacks that I feel like eventually he's just going to do what he does always.
Yeah, he had 2 games to prove it. He ain't did none.
But I'm with you though. if I drafted both of them, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm just gonna ride down with the ship.
Yeah.
Because most likely, I'm not gonna get the value back for the players that I really want.
Yeah. If I had to trade one of them, I would do Jefferson. I mean, but
I do Chase just because I feel like I can get more value with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I can be like, hey man, Brown and be looking good with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would do Chase, but you fucked up either way.
Yeah.
Any game, C's?
Yeah, only 2 games, man. That 1 o'clock on Sunday and that Monday night game. The only 2 games I'm really planning on watching, man. Looking forward to.
Cool. Final thoughts, y'all?
Yeah, I got some final thoughts. AJ Wilson, balling. Doggone Las Vegas Aces, balling. They trying to win their 13th game in a row, or they going for either 12 or 13. You know what I'm saying? Against the Seattle or whatever their name is. I don't even know their name, but she's balling. You know what I'm saying? I just can't wait till she have a vacation and Bam have a vacation, and they can make some kids so we can see what they about. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Angel Reese on vacation.
Yeah, she been on vacation.
Yeah, she on vacation because they ain't made the playoffs, but we'll see how long the Aces stay in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, so yeah, the Aces, yeah, they I think they're doing their thing, man. I think that's my final thoughts for the night, man.
You got anything, C's? Hey man, so sticking with sports, man, this weekend it's gonna be opening weekend for the movie Him. It's produced by Jordan Peele, Justin Tippin, a Filipino director with Black Descendants 2. He's directing the movie. We got Marlon Wayans, who's one of the main actors in the movie, and we got Tyreek Withers. For those who are Atlanta fans, the show Atlanta. He was in the black and white episode, the last season, where basically he was passing for white, but he was black. Man, I'm looking forward to this movie. This movie is going to touch on so many different levels, from CTE, from the culture of trying to be great, from sacrifices and stuff like that. And we got a black cast with a black producer and a black director telling a black story, because a lot of stuff that happens in sports, especially NFL, affects black people, man. So this is going to be great, man. Shout out to the Mamba.
Gotta. Mr. DJ Rose, Verkeezy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. For sure, MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and sell our land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.